Hello everybody, welcome. Another quick tutorial here on what's going to be masking. Essentially we're going to take this model out from a different background and plop it on this blue. And I chose this image because the feathers are tricky. The tutu is a little weird, and it's kind of a similar technique for crazy hair. So if you're masking hair, this can help. And plus, I mean, it's a feather mask and a Valentine shirt and a tutu. So this is what we're going to end up with. And this is what we're starting with. So essentially a mask is a black and white layer where the white will come through and the black will be masked, like masking tape. So first thing I want to do is create some copies of my background layer. So hit Ctrl+J a couple times to do that. Now I need to delete the studio space because we don't need any of this. So I'm going to grab my lasso tool with L, just come around here, hit D for my default colors, then hit Control backspace to fill with white. So I'll grab this side now, Control backspace, fill with white. Now to create our mask, we essentially need to create a really high contrast layer from the model from the background, this kind of grayish background. And we're kind of lucky because that we have this uniform gray. Other images it can be tough, like you have to combine layers and stuff, which it's doable, but it's just a little trickier. So to do this, I'm going to hit my black and white adjustment layer and then fiddle with the knobs a little bit. So I'm going to drop the reds because I know the tutu is red, and don't go crazy because we don't want to block everything out. So just be kind of subtle, let some of the tutu color come through, and drop the yellows a bit because I know the feathers are yellow and there's some yellow in her skin tones. So I'll drop that a bit, and that's a pretty good start. So now I'm going to commit this black and white layer we just made to background copy 2. So to do that, hit Ctrl+E to commit it. Now what we're going to do is brush in, because she has to be completely black and this has to be completely white. So what we're going to do is brush in those colors with overlay brush. So get your brush, hit B, set your mode to overlay, and opacity you can fiddle around with, but we'll start with 100%. And what this allows us to do is brush in, depending on what your foreground and background colors are, and we have black and white, is brush in with black in this case and not affect the light or white or just the lighter part of the spectrum of the image. So it's kind of cool, you can kind of brush in and not really affect the light parts. So I'm going to do that for her torso where we can be less careful. But now I'm going to zoom into the feathers and we can kind of see, grab my brush tool, where this is helpful, and adjusting the opacity here helps too. So I'll go a little lighter and just click around, darkening up the feathered edges. And then to switch, to do the outside, hit X to switch your foreground and background colors, and you'll do that a lot, so try to remember that. X is switching your foreground and background colors. So do that, bump up my opacity a bit to get it white. Make sure your brush is soft as well. If you don't know, right click, set hardness to 0, kind of get these edges. And I'm going kind of quick just for time's sake, video's sake. Get these edges, and I'm sorry if you're seeing fracturing here, it's my video recorder isn't that great. I'm going to zoom out and do this. And you can adjust your brush size with the bracket keys. So the right bracket is larger brush, left is smaller, and I'm going to just go around here and get this stuff. And what I mean nice about overlays, like you can be less careful when you're going over these edges and things. And if you feel you go too far, just hit X to switch the colors. Kind of click back the darkness in, get her shoes, legs. Kind of click around here. And I know the newer versions of Photoshop have pretty good methods of masking out and mask edges and stuff. So those might be just as good or better, but this is kind of an older way to do it. Lets you get in there and kind of be precise. So that looks okay. And now I have to make her face completely black because we want that to come through. So I'm going to just zoom in, grab my brush, switch back to normal, opacity 100%, make sure I have black as my foreground color, and just set my hardness to 100 and just click around in here. Being careful not to hit the edges because we're in normal mode again. So get some of these spots, and we're going to have to eventually inverse this because again, white reveals and black conceals, so we want her to come through. So I'm going to hit Ctrl+I to do that. And doing that, you can kind of see some places you missed. If you feel like you missed some places, kind of go over your image again. Make sure you're hitting all the edges. But it looks okay for now. Let's test it out on our blue background layer. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click the background, select, put a new layer in between there, grab my blue swatch, hit G for my paint bucket tool, and just click. Now we don't see it because we have layers on top, but it's there. So now the last kind of part is to put our black and white layer, which is a layer now, and make it a layer mask. So to do that, I'm going to hit my background copy, which is where we want our layer mask, hit the layer mask button. But select your black and white layer, hit Ctrl+A to select all, and Ctrl+C to copy it. Now to paste it inside the layer mask, we can't just hit Ctrl+V because that'll make a new layer, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to Ctrl+Z to undo that. Then I'm going to alt+click on your layer mask to go in there. So now we can paste it. Hit Ctrl+V, and now we're good to go. And we can kind of see what we got, and there it is. It's not bad. Could use some work, but yeah, it's okay. So some final touches. Let's see. Oh, and I mean, with this, now that you've done this, you can always still go back and fix some things. So with your layer mask selected, just grab your brush and you can paint some things in. So make sure you have your overlay. Maybe adjust the opacity a bit. But if you want some more to come through or more to be hidden, just kind of go in here and kind of touch up some things. Like, yeah, her feathers. Probably want some more feathers to come through. And if you get some bad edges, you can go in there with a blur tool and kind of blur it out. That helps sometimes, or yeah. So let me just add the final touch. I'll do what, SKP for scop. Oop. Make sure it's black. Okay, cool. So I hope this helped. It can help for masking hair and stuff like that, or if you're masking tutus or feathers. So I hope you liked. Leave comments, questions in the comment section, and that's it. Till next time.